contains spoilers of the spoiling type. If you don't want your spoilers spoiled, please turn back now. Otherwise, enjoy the show!
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Ladies and gentlemen! Welcome to the main event! This is Cinesmack! And the winner is...
Hello, Cinesmacketeers, and welcome to bout number 182 of Cinesmack, the podcast about films by filmmakers. I am your host, Mike Keeler. Joining me tonight is our panel of award-winning judges. First, filmmaker and owner of Arizona Inc. Studios, Andrew, Old War Wound, acts up around morons, Zumwalt. Second, filmmaker and owner of One Genome Short Productions, Gabriel. I'm something of a rarity, Rowald.
I'm glad it's you.
Third, filmmaker and owner of Cheshire Moon Films, Tom. I've never met anyone who made being a son of a bitch such a point of pride, Haggis.
Because it's also fucking hysterical.
Fourth, writer, actor, and director, Kyle. It's awake, so I don't want to see those dice. Fine.
Look around, Cinesmack. There's nothing but sex in the room. I mean, murderers.
Murders.
Shit.
Wow. All right, let's poke the monkey, find out what we're discussing this month.
Ladies and gentlemen, harried hitmen and conflicted criminals, welcome to the main event. Tonight, two gangster flicks go gangbusters as made men caught in the middle make a play for cinema survival. Is the road to perdition paved with gold? Or will Miller's Crossing win the war? In the first quarter, from 2002, written by Max Allen Collins, Richard Pierce Rayner, and David Self, directed by Sam Mendes. Starring Tyler Heckler, Paul Newman, and Tom Hanks. Road to Perdition! In the second quarter, from 1990, written by Dashiell Hammett, Joel Cohen, and Ethan Cohen, directed by the Cohen brothers, starring John Turturro, Albert Finney, and Gabriel Byrne. Miller's Crossing!
All right. Well, I will say this. I really enjoyed rewatching these movies again. I hadn't seen Miller's Crossing until maybe 2005, 2006, when someone at a poker night told me I needed to check it out, and instantly loved it. So, and Road to Perdition is maybe one of the most Tom Hanks roles. You know, he's not typical Tom Hanks, and I like seeing him. I like seeing him playing that part. So, without further ado, let's move on to our first round, which is writing.
I think you guys are probably going to agree with me on this, which is, I don't know, sometimes we get called Cine agree. But I felt like Miller's Crossing was very well written, but it was reminiscent of some other movies and maybe kind of referential to movies like Yojimbo, Fistful of Dollars, Last Man Standing, all these movies where there's one person playing both sides of this kind of like conflict between people or groups of people and that kind of thing. So I felt like Miller's Crossing had a very familiar kind of take on it, in that it was like that's what he was doing. He was playing both sides for his own benefit to a certain degree, or at least to, save his own life. So, and I also felt like the writing in both of these movies is really strong, and but I felt like a lot of the dialogue, and this may bleed into the acting category, and I won't go there, but a lot of the dialogue was pretty at times, because it was full of like slang, and the way it was delivered very quickly. I found a lot of the dialogue hard to follow in Miller's Crossing. And it's maybe it's just because I'm old, and even subtitles didn't help me that much. I was like, what's going on? What are they talking about? They're going very fast. I don't know exactly what they're doing or what they're saying. I thought the dialogue was good, but it just was like, it was very dense, and I would probably have to watch it again to keep up. And Road to Perdition is really, I thought it was really well written as well. It's got great character development. It's got great dialogue in it, quotable dialogue. Did we all quote at the beginning? Did we all quote Road to Perdition? I don't remember. I feel like we did.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's obviously got quotable dialogue and that kind of thing. So, they're both really well written, very strong. I found Road to Perdition. It was a little bit simpler in its concept, but that helped me follow it a little bit better. I didn't have to try to remember who's double crossing who and why and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it was pretty straightforward as far as what the characters were up to. So, I don't know. I thought both of these were quite well written.
So you're talking about that kind of quick back and forth slang. It's really reminiscent of some old film noirs. One I watched recently, which is actually going to be my recommendation tonight. But think of like a Humphrey Bogart or a Private Eye film. They're kind of using the in language of the time and the situation, which can be hard to follow. But I think there's good enough context clues that you can get most of it. It's not like the movie that I think of when I think of things like slang, is I think of a movie by Ryan Johnson called Brick, which was like, wow, these guys are using a lot of slang and I'm not picking up on it as well. I probably need to rewatch it now that I'm older. But yeah, they do a really good job. I mean, the dialogue is very snappy and quippy. The characters have a lot of edge to them, and there is some depth to them, even if you don't always... They don't really tell you about their depth. You see it in them. And then Road to Perdition has a cool like framing structure of the way it opens, and basically opens and ends on the same shot. But it is based on a graphic novel. I don't want to take Mike's trivia. I'm sure this is probably Mike's trivia for tonight, but it's based on a graphic novel by someone that Mike and I have been within like 10 feet of before. So, but it felt like a very prototypical sort of gangster movie, in that, you're in this life, bad things happen, you put other people in danger, and then you have to fight your way out, and sometimes not everyone survives. So I don't know how necessarily original it is, other than it uses the framing of like a man and his son and them growing closer together as they run away from this danger. Although I think the writing is very uneven in some places because the amount of montages in the movie where they just like, hey, we're going to do this one thing and play wacky music while we speed run through like a month of time. And I was like, okay, that's a choice. But it has some great dialogue. I think Paul Newman's delivery in this movie is fantastic. He has the lines of the film, in my opinion, especially during the scene when he and Tom Hanks are talking in the basement.
Yeah.
Which I, kind of quoted at the beginning. That's my favorite line of that movie is "Look around, Mike. There's no one but murderers in this room." Like that line hits hard. It's very sparse sometimes in Road to Perdition. There's a lot of still acting, and but I think it's more about the story and the principle and the things you see, and it does suffer from a little tell don't show sometimes, but overall, yeah, I don't think there's really have too many qualms with the writing of either of these films.
I think, I mean, from a dialogue standpoint, you really can't get more different than these two. I don't know, maybe I'll look and let's see what the word count is for dialogue because Miller's Crossing just the dialogue is so fast and lays on so thick, and the acting in it is, I mean, the line delivery is so good that it just, I don't know, I never felt lost watching Miller's Crossing. I don't remember what it was like when I first saw it, like when I was in high school, but um, no, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, but and a lot of that is the dialogue. And it was interesting how little is said in Road to Perdition. It is just kind of a um, so much of it. I guess there's no wasted words in Road to Perdition. That they really uses as few words of dialogue as they possibly could have used in the entire movie. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I think but I never feel like either of these movies drag at any point. I mean, they both are under 2 hours and they're fairly tight. And I don't know. Um, I don't know. It's like if I want a good gangster movie for the eyes, I'll go with Road to Perdition. If I want one for my ears, then I'll probably put in Miller's Crossing.
Well, I guess I'm the only person, well, maybe not, but at least I'll admit it. So the first time I ever watched Miller's Crossing was Sunday.
What?
I've never seen Miller's Crossing before. It was never one that I really ever jumped to or was drawn to. I've seen Road to Perdition many times. Um, I guess the feeling of being lost in the fast dialogue. I wasn't lost on the dialogue, but I was more confused at all the names they were talking about and putting names to faces. That to me was the where I struggled the most. That's where I actually had to go back and be like, okay, he's talking about him. Okay, so that's this guy. That was the only part that I really struggled with because they would whip out names and be like this person, this person, this person, and I'm like, who are all these people? So I would say that was due to the fast dialogue. There is the story, I think, is more a traditional prohibition mob story that you would think of when you're thinking of your stereotype. It has all the tropes. It has the mob boss. It's got the backstabbing. It has a good A B to C. You've got almost your no one really wins, but you kind of have your hero at the very end who gets to step away. So, I think the story is Cohen style. Like it feels very Cohen style. Road to Perdition, there's not a lot of writing for dialogue in it, as we've said before. It almost felt, and I thought this even when I first saw it, but it feels like a road movie, like a buddy cop or a buddy movie almost, because it's between him and his son. And once they actually I think Kyle was mention that there's like the montages, like when they're doing the montage with him driving by with the bank. It's humorous, it's funny, and it's catchy. But then they keep doing kind of the montages, and it kind of starts feeling like a a buddy road movie almost, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just that's kind of what it felt like with him and the son in all of their moments, and then finally finalizing out. The first time I saw it, I thought the twist at the end was really good. For Road to Perdition, they do a really good job. We'll talk a little bit about this in cinematography, but they do a good job of hiding the twist at the very end. Yeah, I mean it's a good story. It really punches home. Maybe hard, his drive in Mike's drive in his story is different than Miller's Crossing drive. Like they're two completely separate, different motivations, and maybe that is where Road to Perdition lands a little bit better, because that motivation is more on the kid, the wife, the family kind of connection. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the voting, but it just feels like that was they leaned on that quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very much character based rather than kind of situation based like Miller's Crossing is, where you're in the middle of this mob war and there are people on both sides doing bad things, trying to figure out who's really going on. It's much more situation based than whereas Road to Perdition is. It has the situation, the driving plot, but it's also very character based around the two characters together. Like you mentioned, my wife and I watched it together, and we kind of discussed the montages and the wacky music and the comedy stylings of that. And we'll talk about it more in directing, but I think, it kind of took me out for a little bit because I was like, man, this is a real tonal shift. But then I thought about it. If they did not do that, what a bleak movie this would be. Yeah. They have to have some kind of break because it's such a bleak movie.
It's heavy.
Otherwise, yeah, I mean,
no,
even the first like 40 minutes, you're like, what is this movie going to be? Like, it's very dark.
And that's classic Mendes, though. All of his movies are like that. You take one or two scenes out of his movies, and suddenly you're like, "Oh my god, I'm going to kill myself."
It was very bleak, but
and I think we'll talk a little bit about that in acting too, with some of the actors who are playing heavier roles than normal.
Yeah, but I did love the writing in Miller's Crossing. I wonder if it's an age thing, but to me, I remember Miller's Crossing became like on my radar when I was in my Boondocks phase as a good movie thing. Like someone had showed me Boondock Saints, and I was like, oh, what a cool like gangster robber movie. And then someone's like, you should watch Miller's Crossing. I remember actually watching it like at a party with like 10 people. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I didn't know they made like movies like this. But
yeah, both of these movies, like I loved both these movies before we got into this, but watching them in the last couple of days just reaffirmed it. Like I just, and it almost like, why have I not watched these more? All the times I'm sitting around going, what do you want to watch? Put one of these fuckers in. I've got it on my phone, on my laptop, I got on Blu-ray. I like just hit a couple buttons and put it on.
Hit a couple buttons.
So I think, I think I don't know, like, and I mean, we talked about this a little bit, but the difference of dialogue between the two, like the lack of dialogue in Road to Perdition, but also the complex plot of Miller's Crossing versus the simplicity of the plot in Road to Perdition. So I remember this time sitting down to watch it and going, I was like, I don't remember what happened, like what leads to the bank robbery thing and like what the whole gangster plot was. And then once I got to it, I was like, wow, that was really surprisingly simple and basic. And it just kind of stays out of the way of the whole father-son dynamic.
Yeah, one of the interesting things we've been talking about is how much dialogue there's been in Miller's Crossing and how they delivered it. They delivered a whole bunch of dialogue very quickly, very kind of slang filled dialogue. And then we were talking about how there's much less in Road to Perdition, but that makes me think of another Coen Brothers film, actually, No Country for Old Men. And that movie has, I don't know, I'd have to figure it out, but it's like the first 10 minutes of that movie has no dialogue.
I was gonna say it's have like what 20 words in the entire movie.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It's like the dialogue is extremely sparse
yeah.
in No Country for Old Men. And so, I find that kind of an interesting contrast, from the same directors, and that kind of thing. But I think it works great for No Country.
But
Yeah.
but is the dialogue? I think also Kyle brought this up too. Is the dialogue subjective to the style and the timing of the movie that it's set in to be able to have that? Did they talk and act and have the speedy zippiness?
Or it's like, I think Kyle or somebody said that it was like a reference to the old noir films too that
Right.
had that kind of dialogue.
Yep.
And Old Country could have been the kind of thing where it's like, well, this, there wasn't a lot of dialogue in the novel it was based on, so they kept it that way. But that's one of the things I always really actually liked about No Country for Old Men is that when there was dialogue, it was meaningful, and otherwise they left it out, and I thought that was great.
So,
All right,
So
boys.
back.
I got to cut you off.
Oh, just one little thing. Come on.
All right, go ahead, Tom.
I'd not realized this, but there's only six lines of dialogue in the last 20 minutes of Road to Perdition.
Oh, well.
It did not feel like that.
No. That says
That's
something.
crazy.
That says
All right,
something.
let's put it to a vote. Gabe.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Road to Perdition. Yeah, mostly because I had a hard time following some of the dialogue in Miller's Crossing.
All right, Kyle.
Oh, I'm a sucker for that old noir patter, and I do like Coen Brothers script, so I'm gonna give me Miller's Crossing.
All right, Andrew.
I as well really like the Coen Brothers. However, I think Road to Perdition is just a more enjoyable film. This story I thought was, I don't know. I'm going with the road this time.
Tom.
I gotta take my flunky and dangle, so I gotta go Miller's Crossing.
All right. Road to Perdition is loosely based on actual events and a real enforcer for mobster John Looney, who was betrayed by him. According to author Max Allan Collins, the graphic novel was an American homage to the manga series Lone Wolf and Cub by Kazuo Keoki. I think I'm saying
Nailed
it right. Writers Joel Cohen and Ethan Cohen suffered writer's block while writing Miller's Crossing. They took a 3-week break and wrote Barton Fink, a film about a writer with writer's block. The name of Tom Regan's residence is the Barton Arms in honor of the newspapers. An article reads, 7 Dead in Hotel Fire, another reference to Barton Fink.
Holy shit. We're such good writers. When we get stuck, we're going to write another movie.
Another movie.
About us being stuck.
Flexing. Yeah, that is that's a crazy flex.
That is
flex.
crazy. It's like, how can we break writer's block?
Let me break out of this. Let's write
one.
an entire other movie with John Turturro in it.
I mean, it's basically the most real life meta ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. All right. Second round. Acting.
Oh no, is this me? Okay. Acting. All right. Okay, let's start with the real standouts. So let's start with Road to Perdition. Jude Law is creepy, good psychopath, never really know what he's thinking. Is willing to shave a bald spot in his head, which I think is kind of funny. Yeah. Because he's
and
not.
He went method with his fingernails too.
Yeah.
I think he grew those out.
Yeah, I don't remember him being that bald. But yeah, that's a choice. I think he's very unsettling. This is a very un-Tom Hanks performance where he's not using like his charisma and his turn of phrase, his way with words. He really is very stoic, and I think in some scenes that works, in some scenes it doesn't work as well for me. Um, Paul Newman, I thought was great. He does not do a whole lot. I think this is his last live action film that he did. So he was really getting up there, but he has a real gravitas to him, and I think he has some of the banger lines in the movie for sure. Daniel Craig felt kind of like a Bond villain, which is kind of funny because he ended up playing Bond, but was really just kind of crazy loose cannon. Stanley Tucci's in the movie for a little bit. And yeah, he's always good. And there really is a whole lot of talent in Road to Perdition. And then when you go to Miller's Crossing, I mean, John Turturro's character is fantastic. Gabriel Byrne is out of this world. Like, I love Gabriel. I think Gabriel Byrne is an amazing actor, and he's great in Usual Suspects. He's great in Hereditary. I mean, you could go on, but he's fantastic in this movie. And then Marcia Gay Harden is great. I mean, there really isn't a bad performance in Miller's Crossing. Maybe other than the Dane, I guess. I didn't think he was all that great, but he was a little. I loved. Was it Casper, the other crime boss? I don't know that actor's name. The bald guy with the mustache.
John Polito.
Yes, he was great. I loved his performance. He reminded me of like the kind of skeezy guy. I'm trying to think now. Was he in The Crow? Because if he wasn't in The Crow, he feels like he should have been in The Crow.
I think he might have been in The Crow. I know he's in The Rocketeer, and
Yeah,
Isn't he in L.A. Confidential, Tom? Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, he's in quite a few Coen Brothers movies though. Like he was in Big Lebowski.
Yes.
And he was in Barton Fink too.
He he reminds me of? He reminds me of an Italian version of Louis Guzman. I don't know why. It's just kind of short and thick and good character actor. But he was great. The acting in both these movies is really solid. I think Tom Hanks, okay, with one exception, and this I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy for a second. I think if one of the leads of your movie is a kid and they're not a great actor, it really hurts your film. And I thought the Michael Sullivan Jr. did not stand up to the rest of the acting chops around him. And I think now we're kind of spoiled by fantastic child actors, but it was a much, much higher swing to miss ratio back in the day. We didn't know what you're going to get. And once I realized he looked like a miniature Ray Liotta, I couldn't get it out of my head.
Oh, thanks.
He has like Ray Liotta's adult head on his child body, and I'm like, oh no.
Prequel to Goodfellas?
Yeah, pretty much. But
he does pick up a gun again. Son of a.
Yeah. So overall, good acting. Not great in all respects, but good acting.
Yeah, that's funny because I thought he did okay as a child actor, and I think you really are it's really a crapshoot, when you're hiring children for those kinds of roles. Jill and I were just talking about I don't know why it came up, but we were talking about what's the name of the Clint Eastwood movie, the Gran Torino, and that kid actor is really not that great in that, and it hurt to me. It hurt the movie. And I'm not trying to be mean. He was young, but I felt like it kind of hurt the movie because I felt like he wasn't that good. I didn't get that feeling with Road to Perdition though. Maybe he wasn't like an out of this world actor, but I didn't think he was distractingly bad by any means. And who else can play like a likable killer, likable hitman better than Tom Hanks? He's a murderer. He's on a certain level, he's kind of a psychopath maybe, but he's just so likable.
I'd still hang out with him.
Yeah, I'd want him. I'd hire him. He can be on my side, and he can do the dirty work, and we can hang out and have fun too. And so I felt like he was a good choice for that role because to a certain degree, his character was trapped in this lifestyle, and we don't get a lot of details on how that happened and why he, Looney or whatever his name was, took him in. But yeah, he was very likable. He's always that's the thing about Tom Hanks. He's just has this likability and this charisma in any role that he plays. I've never felt like, oh, I don't like this guy. And so I think he was a good choice for that. Um, yeah, the acting in Miller's Crossing is really great. It's very powerful. I agree with Kyle. I liked Gabriel Byrne, but he plays it very low key. He's very kind of understated and cold and elusive with it. He certainly doesn't go over the top, and it's really fun to me to see a lot of these guys that work with the Coen brothers all the time, but they're playing different roles. John Turturro and you know um, all of those guys that are often with. Steve Buscemi was fun to see in there. He had a really small part. It wasn't really all that impactful, but it was fun to see Steve Buscemi in there. Um, you know, it's kind of fun to see all of these people working together with the Coen brothers on a regular basis. So that's always enjoyable. You could argue that it maybe takes you out of it a little bit because you're like, oh, look, it's John Turturro, but it's also kind of like, it's like, I don't know, comfort food or something. It's like, I'm happy to see these people in this movie. And so, and they always, those guys, that group of guys always gives a great performances. So,
Yeah,
It's like
there's something to be said to be having actors and directors that work together and work together well.
seems like
hmm
we just had this conversation. Are we? This is like deja vu.
It is.
We just talked. Who was? Oh, Wes Anderson. That's
hmm
right.
hmm
We just had the same
Yep.
Oh yeah.
conversation.
Yep. Yep. And it's the same kind of comfort food with
Yep.
the Wes Anderson films. Seeing all those people, you see, you see those people pop up in the movie, and you're like, oh, that makes me happy. I enjoy seeing all of them. So.
Yeah.
But how can you? I mean,
Christopher
how can you
Guest
get?
does it too
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
all of
Mm-hmm.
his documentaries, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
what
Mm-hmm.
wacky characters can I get these lovable bunch of
Yeah.
sketch comics and improvisers to do?
Yep.
and that
Absolutely.
seems like it's even more important to do in those movies because you're playing off of each other
Hmm.
and there's that
Right.
chemistry.
You
So
learn.
Yeah, you're working. Yeah, you've got a lot of experience working with each other. Yeah.
yeah, I did not know. I mean, I know it was earlier in his career, but Daniel Craig's voice still throws me when I watch this now after seeing him in
Yes.
James Bond and
Knives
Force
Out.
Awakens. I can even Force Awakens when he's the stormtrooper is like, yeah, that's Daniel Craig. And I'm like, I don't know. He
Mm-hmm.
should have used his Road to Perdition voice or something. But
Oh, Benoit
um,
Blanc. Just be Benoit Blanc the rest of your career.
Oh, right,
The
right.
Southern.
it's
Yeah,
tough.
that was a surprise to see him. Honestly, I had seen Road to Perdition many years ago, but I'm not sure we really were all that familiar with Daniel Craig at the time.
Oh, not at all.
Uh,
No, he's definitely new to
and,
us.
and so when I saw his name in there, I'm like, holy crap, he's in this.
Mhm.
And it was a different, very different role for him. And I thought he was good in that role as well.
I remember when they announced him for um, James Bond, and I was like, hang on, what else has he been in? And I go look back and look like
Yeah,
Road to
who?
Perdition. Who was he in that?
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
as far as
There's
I
a
mean, he could have gotten pigeonholed into roles like this with those eyes. He could have gotten pigeonholed into
uh-huh.
this creepy villain, you know,
Yeah,
enforcer character, and he did such a
yeah,
great job breaking out into so many other roles.
Mhm.
yeah.
Agreed.
And there's a movie called Layer Cake that I think maybe might
Yeah,
have led to him becoming James Bond to a certain degree
absolutely.
because he plays that kind of character in it, and he was really like compelling in that. I
Yeah,
remember liking Layer Cake quite a lot.
yeah, I agree. Um, I guess we're running out of time, but uh, I, Paul Newman's
Paul Newman. Yeah, I was
absolutely.
going to say someone's not talking. No one's talking about Paul Newman.
Paul Newman is so good, and I don't want to. I mean, he was getting older, and he knew that he didn't have a whole lot of movies left, and God bless him for just putting everything he had into this role. He easily could have phoned it in and everything, but you could tell he cared very much about this character and this complicated story of fathers protecting their sons, even if it means like making sure they don't grow up like them, even though that's inevitable. It's going to happen anyway. And just like fighting that constant tide. Um, he was really good. The first few times I saw this, Road to Perdition, Tom Hanks kind of threw me out because it was such a different role for him. But going back and watching it now, I have a much more appreciation for it. And then Miller's Crossing, everybody does so great. But I do think, yeah, like you guys said, John Polito might be the highlight of the entire movie. But I will say, like, John Turturro's turn as Bernie, from like the sniveling little brother and who's on his knees like seconds away from dying, to that when he shows up at Tom's house and he becomes that manipulative, and suddenly you realize how he got in the situation he did, by trying to just manipulate people and everything else. I just yeah, it's such a great role for him too. I don't know. This will be a really hard category to vote on, I think.
The only one other, well, first I was gonna say Michael Sullivan Jr., Tyler Hoechlin. He became Superman.
Yes, he did.
So that was something for him. What about Jude Law in Road to Perdition? What a creepy, weird, crazy role for Jude Law. Normally for a lot of movies, he's a heartthrob. He's the golden boy, and then he plays this weird, creepy photographer that doesn't kill people, but yet does kill people, and takes pictures of the dead people. Like, wild. And his teeth and his nails, like he went all out. Like, that was a weird one. And Albert Finney, gosh, I
forgot to say Albert Finney.
God, I love him.
Yeah,
and
I haven't mentioned him yet.
In Big Fish, for instance, he's another great role for him. He just has this, I don't know, this masterful where he, normally you would say he controls the stage when he's, would be in theater, but his scenes, he's so grand, and he's like the glue in every scene. He just holds it together. He drives it. He pushes it. He's the one that's, running the show, literally as the character, but also like actually in the scene. And there's just something about him. There's just some magic, some charisma that he does. I really, really enjoy him. Steve Buscemi,
I think it's largely his voice for me.
Maybe
he's got a great voice. Great voice.
He's just very commanding as a person. Steve Buscemi, I forgot what he looks like without wrinkles and looking like a creepy man. I mean, come on, like everything, Armageddon and Con Air and stuff. He's this creepy, wiry guy, and so it was. I don't know. It's kind of fun to see him again. This was the first time I'd seen it, so I get some kicks out of some of this stuff. But anyways. I don't want to tread on. I mean, you guys have said plenty, so.
Yeah, I think Albert Finney, he's also one of the characters in Miller's Crossing that goes from this really like, oh, what a nice, warm guy and understanding. I'd like to work for him. And like, I definitely don't want to try and kill him. And that scene when they try to kill the assassination attempt, that entire sequence, and this is probably a directing thing, that entire sequence is just, it's beautiful and violent, and but Albert Finney is a fucking badass in that thing.
The roll under the bed, the shot of the shooting of the foot, then popping him right in the head when he falls. Like, that whole sequence, beat by beat, it's just like, oh my God.
So I was just going to say that Paul Newman, Albert Finney, both these films, they are the anchors. They are the tent poles for these films, right? They bring this gravity themselves, and everyone kind of orbits around them, especially Newman. But you bring up the gunfight. I didn't put this in the trivia, but they had the singer sing when they recorded that song. They purposefully had him slow down or speed up at certain points to match the sequence that they had in their head
Oh, very cool.
Oh, cool.
for the Danny Boy song, which
Yeah.
is the Coen brothers always amaze
Yeah.
me, the amount of work they put into stuff. But anyway, we're on acting.
They're-
Let's go ahead and vote.
But they also like
And-
to do a lot of timing to music and stuff with their
Oh
action.
yeah, absolutely. Kyle, you're up.
Yeah, give me Miller's Crossing.
All right. Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, this one's tough. I really think I'm gonna go with Miller's Crossing for this one. I was on the line though.
Gabe.
I don't think I can vote against Tom Hanks' like charisma, so I'm gonna go with Road to Perdition.
All right. And Tom.
Man, I gotta go Miller's Crossing because it's like top to bottom. Everyone, nobody pulls me out of the movie once. The entire and all of Miller's Crossing. It's so immersive, and I gotta respect that.
All right. Miller's Crossing was the Coen brothers' first collaboration with Steve Buscemi and John Turturro. John Turturro based his performance on the film's cinematographer, Barry Sonnenfeld. And Steve Buscemi was cast as Mink because he could speak faster than anyone else.
And they all spoke pretty fast too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank
He did
Needy.
that scene. I was like, what did he say? I don't know.
Frank Needy was a chain smoker, so Stanley Tucci had to get through approximately 80 cigarettes in one day.
Jesus.
Jude
Good
Law
Lord.
Jude
He's
Law
still alive.
hated his appearance for the film and insisted on wearing a cap every time he wasn't on camera. Sir Sam Mendes insisted that Law also remain paler than all of his co-stars.
Oh yeah, he is real pale and sickly
Yeah.
looking.
And more trivia that I left out. They wanted him to look like a rat. You know,
He
very
does.
rat-ish, which I
Mhm.
think they did a
Mhm.
fantastic job on doing that.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Third round, directing.
I'm not doing my job. I'm sorry. Yeah. So let's talk about directing. Let's do the easy ones first. The Coen brothers. We all know the Coen brothers. We all know the stuff they do. We've talked about multiple films already. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading, True Grit. I mean, these are iconic films. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Lebowski. I mean, the list goes on and on. These guys know how to tell a story, and they definitely have a very consistent way of telling that story. But they're really good at least I feel that they're very good at taking the story that they have, the point that they're trying to get across, and directing in that style. They aren't just all their movies are the same. They are really good at making the story, in a sense, come alive on the page or on the screen, and they're really good at adapting based on what story they're trying to tell. And this is no exception. It very much felt I think the noir is probably a good example that was brought up of that mob, that noir crazy fastness, that grittiness, lots of close shots, lots of in the action, lot of visceral moments. They are really good at making that happen, and some of that goes to Barry Sonnenfeld with a lot of his photography, his cinematography, and just getting the cameras in there, getting it in there, being dirty, and really having that impact when you're telling that story. I felt that at least from my watching. Now, hopefully, maybe you guys can expand on that a little bit if you've seen it more than once. But from watching it, it just really felt that I was there kind of feeling, and it's just as gritty and bouncy and crazy. And I think that's kind of what they were going for. I will say that the one thing I did notice is that for as many times as Gabriel was hit in the face, kicked, punched, thrown, any possible thing that could happen to his body, he didn't have a bruise or a cut anywhere on his face for like 90% of the movie, except for the one small thing on his lip. And then they show half the other guys and they're all like bruised up, big black eyes and stuff. I thought that was hilarious. So let's go back to Road to Perdition. Sam Mendes, wonderful director, has done a lot of pretty serious movies. 1917, which he was a producer on, which is just a beautiful movie if you've ever seen that. But he did a couple of the James Bond, if I remember, the newer James Bonds. And then, of course, probably one of the most controversial movies that currently is really, really good, which would be American Beauty, because that movie is phenomenal, even though it's maybe a little more controversial today. And then I want to really kind of look at Conrad Hall, who is a cinematographer, because there is something about Road to Perdition where they shoot... it's very wide, very cinematic, very broad. There is always a lot of depth to his shots. There's always a lot of almost still action, which is a very weird concept, but a still action going on. And he just has these beautiful moments. Like the shot in the rain is probably one of my most favorite shots in Road to Perdition. It's just a gorgeous shot, all this rain coming down and all those people. And then as he cuts away, it's the exact same shot from the opposite view with everybody dead. And it is so poignant and so beautiful and just mwah. So yeah, again, this goes back to, this is hard. There's some really pretty photography in both of these movies. And, with all of the acting that we've talked about, the stories, like they were both adequately telling our stories and they know what they were doing and you can feel it. Like, so this will be a tough round as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the cinematography in both of these are really great.
Yes.
Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yeah.
I mean, he went on and did Men in Black and
Mhm.
Wild Wild West, and then he
Big.
kind of shifted more to just like producing. But
He did Big.
He produced. Oh, he shot Big. Yes.
He was the cinematographer for Big. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the shots in Miller's Crossing are the stuff in the forest is just,
Yeah.
God, it's so bleak and depressing, and it's just a dolly shot looking up through the trees. It's such a simple shot, but it just crushes your soul. And then again, the whole action scene with Albert Finney that we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, though, I think Conrad Hall he was an incredible. I mean, I'd be probably second to Roger Deakins. Is like my all-time favorite cinematographer, and yeah, Road to Perdition is just endless shots of beautiful shots, and it like you said, the showdown in the street with the rain, but then just these aerial shots over the Illinois farm fields are still just absolutely beautiful. When they pull up at the diner, it looks like a painting. It's just really incredible work. And um, there's, just in the last like 3 minutes of Road to Perdition, there are probably 5 or 6 shots that you could just study for a week, and just the stuff through the glass and Tom Hanks getting shot and Jude Law coming out behind him, that he was there the whole time, but you could still see the reflection of his son down on the beach. Like, it is it's a bitch of a shot that he got. And it's just the way that he worked with Sam Mendes, like you said, with this and then American Beauty is truly beautiful work. I don't know if he did Revolutionary Road or not.
That
did.
the reveal
Yeah, I
Tom,
believe he did.
that
Okay.
reveal at the end is probably what I like. That between the story and the actual cinematography itself is like that's incredible.
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
I'm
since we're on
sorry.
directing, go ahead.
Were you asking about Conrad Hall?
I was.
And what'd you say? What movie?
Revolutionary Road.
Yeah,
For
Between this and American Beauty, I thought he did.
He did not do
No.
Revolutionary Road.
No, he did not. Okay.
he did do Searching for Bobby Fischer. I love that movie.
He
I'm
has.
sorry. That's a
That's
great
has-
yeah,
movie.
that's another beautifully shot movie.
And it's
I mean,
beautifully shot, and it has the same kind of feeling as Road to Perdition when it comes to that those long wide shots and that
He did Butch
poignant.
Cassidy and
Butch
Sundance
Cassidy, yeah, I was gonna
Kid,
say.
Cool Hand Luke.
yeah, jeez.
I mean,
Man,
he's responsible for a lot of the '70s style that
Correct.
people
He-
emulate now.
he's a true director of photography.
Marathon Man.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, and Cold Blood. We did that
Yeah.
one a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just
By a
beautiful.
couple, like 10 years ago, I think.
What? No, wait, it's not. You don't. I'm looking now because I know you're lying.
Tequila Sunrise, Day of the Locust. Like he is.
March 2024, 2 years ago.
Wow.
He is
Like I said,
definitely
2 years ago.
he is definitely the pinnacle of photography. I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez. I think both of these movies, in this category, obviously we talk about directing, but also about cinematography. And I think both of these movies are the pinnacle of these crafts. I think Sam Mendes is an extremely capable director. He's made some really great movies.
Wait, before my internet decided to kick me off. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, and then you combine those with these amazing cinematographers, and it's just like, wow, you really can't go wrong with either of these. I think one of the things that maybe kind of works against Miller's Crossing a little bit is the age of it, and maybe the technology available to them to do some of the stuff. I think the cinematography is what's that?
No, I want to hear you say about the age because I feel like it aged better than most movies from 1990.
Oh, well, probably, yeah. Yeah, but I do feel like it felt I was kind of feeling the age of it a little bit, and that they maybe didn't have the technology or available at the time to do all the things that they can do now, or what they could do in Road to Perdition, as far as lighting and cameras and film and that kind of thing. But they were both beautifully shot. But one of the other interesting things to me is we talked about in the writing category about how they got writer's block. The Coen brothers got writer's block during Miller's Crossing, and they went and they strangely wrote another movie about having writer's block. And it was at that time that was the first collaboration between the Coen brothers and Roger Deakins. And I think Roger Deakins took them to a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
His cinematography with the Coen brothers movies is just incredible.
Yeah.
So, I think about that a little bit when I'm watching Miller's Crossing. It's like, well, this is really good, but then there's Roger Deakins with these guys. And so, I don't know. And one of the things I really appreciated about Road to Perdition is the low light cinematography. It was dark, but you could still see everything you needed to see. And working in the rain, or working like that in those conditions and getting those beautiful shots, it's like, oh my God, how did they do that? That's so incredible, so hard to do. I just really, yeah. This is going to be a difficult category like all the others.
Just to piggyback on what you were saying, Gabe, Barry Sonnenfeld actually switched to Fujifilm during the forest scenes. He deliberately shot on Fujifilm because he
Was it?
wanted more muted colors
I can
instead
see
of
that.
Kodak, which the rest of the film is
Right.
shot on Kodak, and but he wanted to use Fujifilm.
Interesting.
I'm
Well,
gonna correct my error about who shot Revolutionary Road.
Well, and the Fujifilm
we
is better
did.
at
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
the Fujifilm is better at low lighting. So that was another stylistic choice as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and it makes me think of other cinematographers too, in how they process the film too. Because in Seven, the movie Seven, they did that whole what's it called, bleach bypass technique to give it kind of a more muted tone, darker, more muted tone. So it'd be interesting to know what these guys did as far as not only choosing the film that they used, but how they processed it.
And I will
afterward.
say this, like the DVD copy that I have I feel like the transfer is not very good. And after
Miller's
watching it,
Crossing?
I realized I need to find a Blu-ray copy.
For Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, for Miller's
Oh,
Crossing.
so I this isn't my recommendation, but the Criterion copy, the Blu-ray, so
Good.
beautiful.
Because I just, we're obviously just talking about cinematography now, but I just felt I'm like, oh my God, could I the grain on it, like I just feel like the transfer was bad.
Yeah,
And watching it now with my eye, I'm like, oh, I need a better version of this film. Where my DVD of Road to Perdition, I mean, it's still just DVD and it looked beautiful, and I just think it was technology when they did them. They were like, oh, here's an old movie called Miller's Crossing from, 10, 12 years ago. Oh, yeah, just transfer it. There
So-
wasn't really any kind of, let's take care of this.
For the Criterion collection, they did a full 2K digital restoration of the film.
Oh yeah.
So
it definitely
was
shows.
probably gorgeous.
But I mean, I feel like we're just talking cinematography, but I mean, the directing in both these films is absolutely astounding.
Yeah,
I mean,
like working.
Road to Perdition's a masterclass in composition. I mean, it's
Yes.
everyone is in the screen where they're supposed to be, and just
Right.
and it just reinforces the story.
But I also love the different angles in Miller's Crossing. Like they, and that's Coen Brothers, right? Like they like doing that, and that's why I like I like the Coen Brothers.
That down and
so
gritty,
much.
like up in their face. You're always in the middle of the action. You're never looking at everything. You're always in it. Like even when they were fighting or they would pull guns on each other, the camera's in the middle of that.
In the middle of it. Yes.
You're not shooting both of them and seeing it.
And where like Road to Perdition, like beginning, something I noticed watching it, beginning of the film, Tom Hanks, whenever he's near his sons, he is like in a doorway or he's further back in the frame. And then after everything happens, it's the close up comes in and the, closer to shot and all that. And I was like, holy shit. Like that was right under my nose all these years. And it's like I watched it again for the first time.
They're showing the two separate lives that he leads.
Yeah.
He leads this life of dark and killer and everything grimy and dirt that you would have, and then turns around and takes his jacket off and sits down to dinner with his wife and kids.
Yep.
And he's a family man immediately.
Yep.
There's two shots that when they're leaving after his wife and son get killed, the car backs out and you get the snow covered bicycle as it's leaving him behind. Both of these movies, boy, they lean so heavily into just like symbolism of all of this, bicycles and hats and everything else. But there's another shot where Stanley Tucci's talking to Paul Newman about, should I kill Michael Jr. too? And the light is just like slashed across Paul Newman's face.
Yes. Yeah,
As he's trying to decide which way is he going to go. Is he going to take the dark path and kill young Michael, or the light, and it's, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's simple and it's there. And why wouldn't you do it? So
That
I don't know,
image in Miller's Crossing where he's got the gun out and he's begging for his life and it's the wide shot was just on. And
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful moment.
Yep.
yeah.
All
Sorry,
right, we
Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle
no, I
never
just
got
got
to
cut
really
off 'cause
talk.
Oh,
What?
I'm
internet.
sorry.
He
I'm
didn't.
sorry, Kyle.
Holy shit.
No, it's okay. Just give me 5 seconds. Both these movies are directed really well. Cinematography is definitely worth talking about. Did you guys glaze Conrad Hall? Did you talk about his career?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit, man. A murderer's row of movies. Like,
Yeah.
unbelievable, the movies that he shot. And 10-time Oscar nominee, 3-time winner. Like, that's nuts. And yeah, Revolutionary Road, I was wrong, but I was wrong on the fact that Roger Deakins shot that film. So, okay. So
what it
Sam
was,
Mendes
yeah.
is just like, I'm just going to work with two of the greatest directors of photography that ever lived. So, okay,
Yes.
that's just what I'm going to do for my life. I mean, that's not a bad way to handle it. But yeah, really well directed. I mean, yeah, and the DPs for both of these films deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, Conrad Hall is basically the, like, as we say, the master class of director of photography and cinematography.
All right, let's put it to a vote. Andrew.
I'm going to go with Road to Perdition on this one.
All righty. Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to go Road to Perdition as well.
All right. Gabe.
Oh, I'm surprised. I thought the Coen brothers might have a little bit more weight here. But I'm going to go with Road to Perdition as well.
All right. And Kyle.
Yeah, I really want to vote for Miller's Crossing because I love the way it's directed, but Road to Perdition is such a big movie, and the choices they make and the way they set shots and what they get out of the actors and how they populate all the background and business and everything going on is just, I have to go for Road to Perdition.
All right. Sir Sam Mendes and Conrad Hall sought to give Road to Perdition the look of the works of artist Edward Hopper. The juxtaposition shot of Sullivan and Son at 1 hour 43 minutes provides an excellent example of the Hopper influence in terms of composition, color palette, drama, and I don't like this term, painterly feel.
Oh.
It doesn't seem like a correct word.
What does that
Correct.
mean?
Painterly feel. The Coen brothers reportedly turned down Batman 1989 because it would have interfered with Miller's Crossing. Miller's Crossing is one of the 3 Coen brothers films to not be edited by the brothers themselves under the pseudonym Roderick Janes. The others are Raising Arizona and the Hudsucker Proxy.
I would be really curious to see a Coen Brothers Batman.
So would I.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
weird thought,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
That is
It's
Hmm.
it's been interesting now that they have kind of parted ways and they've kind of both are doing their own project. And I think we talked about this when we did No Country for Old Men.
Yes.
That Ethan brought the goofy and the wild, crazy shit, and
Right.
Joel was the real kind of, because he went on the tragedy of Macbeth,
Yep.
and Buster Scruggs, and it's just been really fascinating. That I know so much more about how they worked together by watching them work apart, and it's I mean, I wish they would do more together because they balance each other out.
Yeah.
It looks like they need each other, but I've loved the 4 movies they've done since. So
yeah, it's interesting to see each piece of the pie that
Yeah.
creates the one story for the things that we love. And you can actually now see where the influence came from which brother. It's weird.
yeah, because I'm watching Big Lebowski. I was like, oh, there's an Ethan decision.
Yep.
Oh,
There's
Joel
Joel.
decision.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our 4th and final round overall.
Right. Well, I don't know if there's much more that can be said about these movies, but that's a load of crap. There's a ton left to be said about these movies. And we're going to start with probably what's going to finally get everyone riled up here, music. I love these 2 scores so much. I think Carter Burwell's Miller's Crossing is, there's a couple parts where it's a little bit lighter than it feels it needs to be. where I'm feeling the visuals is very kind of doom and gloom, and it's a little bit lighter than I would think, but that's got to be that Irish influence that he brings into it, and that Irish storytelling, um, kind of like background music, and I get that because that's just, I mean, that's just kind of how Irish stories are told with this. Yeah, it's bad, but it's kind of good too. Um, at the same time, I put on Road to Perdition today, and it started, and two notes in, I went, oh, I forgot. Yeah, Thomas Newman did this one. Um, there are there are only a couple of composers, and I'm not a huge score guy. My favorite scores are the ones that kind of blend into the background, but these two are exceptions. And um, Thomas Newman is one of those composers that I don't know if it's his instrumentation or note choice, but there's something about him that as soon as I hear one of his scores, it just jumps out at me. I hear Wally, I hear 6 Feet Under, um, and it's um, and I just, I mean, I love his work, and it's um, I think it's because for me it was a real departure from the John Williams, um, you know, Hans Zimmer big orchestra stuff, and he uses a lot of different instruments that I um, real creatively, and it works really really well. I think with Road to Perdition. And the other thing about the two scores is the way that they both lean on that Irish influence, but then kind of went in two different directions on it. Um, I feel like this is going to go down as one of my favorite episodes because I love these two movies so much, and I don't know, I love tearing them apart and picking them apart. So, um, now, the other things I will say about this, uh, Miller's Crossing was not nominated for a single Academy Award. I have no idea how that happened. And to go to Mike's point about, like, it was really just kind of ignored for a really, really long time, like 10, 15 years. It came, it went, and it's kind of found this new life. Now it's in the Criterion Collection, so it's definitely has some kind of pop culture influence that it got that. Um, and um, the Seattle film critics do a 2020 awards where they go back and they redo the awards from movies from 20 years ago. And Miller's Crossing, which didn't get any nominations for Oscars, when they went back and did 2020, it got 10. And I think it's just kind of a uh, it's I don't know, it's kind of a evidence of how irrelevant the Oscars really can be, is that time and the public will decide what movies are most important later on. And Miller's Crossing has risen above most of the movies that came out that year, and I love it for it. So I don't know. Like I said, there's lots to be said about these movies. So now you guys say some shit.
I wish they had a People's Choice Award at the Oscars.
No,
Well, yeah,
no.
Did Miller's Crossing win any Nickelodeon like Kids Choice Awards?
Man, it did. It won like 2 or 3 like little critic awards. I mean, it was really ignored. It's amazing that
Best Irish accent.
What about
Gabriel Byrne?
What about the MTV Movie Awards? The little Popkin one.
The one, the astronaut?
The astronaut, yeah.
You could argue that the stuff they got for Fargo and for No Country for Old Men was the Academy going, boy, we fucked up on everything you guys have done up to this point, including Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
And because there was a sense with No Country for Old Men that it was great, but it was up against There Will Be Blood, and it's, it did seem like there was a little bit of the Academy feeling like, sorry, we've ignored you guys for so long.
Did it get any other awards that year at all?
Miller's Crossing?
Yeah.
No, it got
no.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like Houston Critics Film Award.
Oh, okay.
It got a casting society, Chicago Film, Dallas Fort Worth Critics. It made the National Board Review top 10 films. So I mean, they knew it was going. That's the only award that it really won.
Okay.
Huh.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're right. Some movies come back around and aren't forgotten, right? Or find a new life as people watch them. And sometimes it's more of a popularity contest, and I don't think this movie would have been as well known. These directors would not have been as well known back then as they are now, or were in their heyday. But yeah, Miller's Crossing is a great film. It's very tightly scripted. It's incredibly consistent in its tone. Very well shot, incredibly acted, very greatly directed. I'm not as much of a music guy as most of you guys are. I thought the music in, let's talk about, I think the thing that stood out to me is sometimes in Road to Perdition, the score was absolutely incredible. And then there were other times where it felt too light or too goofy for the tone of the rest of the movie. But like I said, when we talked about it earlier, if you don't take those breaks, like Road to Perdition would have been kind of, I don't want to say unwatchable, but it would have been just like, oh my God, like this whole movie is just so bleak and dark. Like it had to have some levity to it, which I think they incorporated pretty well with, they turned it more into like, let's deepen or change the relationship between father and son. Let's have them lean on each other a bit and become closer, which softened it a little bit because it is a tonal shift. But again, I think it's just one of those things that has to happen because the movie would be so dark and relentless if not. But yeah, the score shouldn't distract from the movie. It should add to it, which I think it does for the most part in these films. I mean, we talked a lot about the way these movies are shot and how they're acted. They're really good as complete packages. Everything fits really well. Stanley Tucci. How can you look so young in one movie and so old in other ones?
The Tooch.
He has a great skill. That if you like imagine him without hair, he's always looked the same. It's kind of funny, but yeah, casting as well on these movies, like tons of heavy hitters. I think you'd find him more like Miller's Crossing was almost like I don't want to call it like a heavy hitter of like indie film, but less like established Hollywood bankable stars, but top-notch actors. And that's such a skill or a treat to get when you're like, hey, we don't have the budget to get a Tom Hanks, or maybe this movie doesn't call for a Tom Hanks, but I do know Gabriel Byrne, and he's a really good actor, and I know Marcia Gay Harden, and I can get John Turturro. I love working with John Turturro. We'll get him in here, and like, it's perfect. It's a great thing to have, is like these connections. We talk about using actors in movies over and over again. You find someone you jive with and connect with and has a lot of range. Like, yeah, it's hard to give that up and be like, yeah, let's start this search over again for another John Turturro. When you go, wait, I know John Turturro. He can do pretty much anything. I'll just call John Turturro. Like, why not? So yeah, there's a reason for that comfort, I guess. Makes sense.
To bring it up, Kyle, since you brought it up, the reported budget for Road to Perdition was $80 million. The reported budget for Miller's Crossing was $14 million.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well,
Did everybody
also
take a
there's
pay
12
cut?
years difference too.
Yeah.
I
but
get that.
still.
Yeah, inflation, but still, man, I think it aged so well. And
I agree everything you're saying, and it only grossed $5 million in the U.S. Worldwide. It only grossed $5 million.
Did like Tucci do it for $1,000? Because wow.
Well, that's Miller's Crossing.
I'm sure. Yeah, Turturro's probably like, I'll take scale or whatever.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I guess maybe
somehow
they
just to make that movie.
passion projects.
Yeah.
They really felt strongly.
You want to work with these guys and you get a chance to make great art. Right.
Right.
oh yeah.
The Coen brothers were like, hey, this is an amazing movie. You guys, and they're like, yeah, I love working with you guys. So yeah, I'll do it. It's fine.
Why not?
But I mean, it is, separated by 12 years, but also, you're talking a big Hollywood budget versus an indie budget, which that would be considered an indie budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah. And it was pretty early in the Coen brothers' career too.
But even like Albert,
they were probably
Finney,
not as well known yet.
but I don't think it's even the well-known part that baffles me with that cost. It's more of just the fact that how do you get some of these? I mean, I'm sure some of them are SAG, and I mean, there had to have been a relationship.
They had Paul Newman of all things.
Yeah, I mean, there had to have been a relationship that they could go and say, hey, what do you guys, would you guys be willing to do this? Can you do this? And there had to have been some passionateness to it enough that people were like, it's not normally what I would do, but I feel passionate about this film, or I like this film enough that, you guys don't have as much money. Sure. I'm going to give you X amount of screen time for, a quarter of what I would normally do it for, because I care about this movie. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that just sounds, it's baffling to me with some of these big actors that are in Miller's Crossing to hear they would. That's awesome. I
wonder
think
if
it's
this is
fantastic.
No,
early. I mean,
oh, you're talking Miller's Crossing.
Yeah,
All
for
right, sorry.
14
Yeah.
million. Like,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
But that was their
I wonder if-
third feature.
Yeah.
And I get
And I
it's
wonder
not their
too if that's
first,
before. Is this before John Turturro is John Turturro? Is it? I mean, is John
Maybe.
Turturro like a big?
It is, because Barton
big
Fink
money
came out after.
actor,
Right,
Like,
that's
because
true. Yeah.
he's not a $25 million movie guy. He's not.
No, I'm not saying
that
that,
kind of
either,
actor.
but just with all of the lineup, with everybody that's in this movie,
Oh, yeah.
from Tom Toner to, even John Polito, like the amount of things he's been in
Yeah.
even since, like it baffles Steve Buscemi. It baffles my mind to think that they pulled that off at that price with this lineup of a cast. That's all
Well,
I'm pointing
and-
out.
and
Because
there's
that's
the
not
thing,
just
too, is-
cast, right? That's
Yeah,
cinematography.
all that money's on the
craft,
screen too.
and
I think
yeah,
all
I
that
mean,
money is on the
jeez,
screen.
That's insane.
Yeah, they didn't waste any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the set pieces and the costumes
Stunts
and
and explosions
yeah,
and
all that stuff,
gunfire and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, that's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was 1990 or not. That's nuts.
Mhm.
And the other thing that I love about the Coen Brothers is that, first of all, that they can hop genres
Yeah.
as good as anybody, maybe with the exception of Danny Boyle. But I think the
Oh, boy.
Do I need to mention Blade Runner here as well?
No, you don't have
Cinematography.
to. Ridley Scott. But I think when you look at Miller's Crossing and then you look at Miller's Crossing and then you look at No Country for Old Men, that they just kept doing what they were doing. I mean, they weren't getting the recognition, they weren't getting the box office, but they stuck to their guns
Yeah.
and stuck to their style, and it eventually paid off in spades. And I completely respect them for that, for having that. Like, no, we're doing it right. We're doing it right. Screw Hollywood. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And
Yep.
the actors came out of the woodwork to work with them,
And it paid off.
and they paid off. I mean, and they got Fargo. They got No Country for Old Men. I mean, they were just ahead of their time. Maybe, I don't know.
So in
Ni
19
hao,
in,
asshats.
in 1990, 26 million was negative cost for a production studio. So if you made a movie for 26 million, the studio was going to assume you're going to take a loss. And they would say anywhere from 38 to 51 million in 1990 would actually make you money. So they're halved, if not a quarter of what a normal blockbuster making movie production cost would have been. That's insane.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's brilliant at the same time. These are the reasons why I think a lot of us got into film is, we did our own thing. We keep doing our own thing. We do it because we're passionate about it. And I don't care what X or Y says we should or shouldn't do. We're doing what we love. And the Coen brothers have stood by that. I think it shows, at least.
Now, I will say, that being said, $80 million for Road to Perdition is impressive too, because I mean, that's $150 million movie right now, if they tried to do it now.
Oh yeah,
And-
easy.
Oh yeah, if they
Absolutely.
try to do it now, yeah.
Well, how much is Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 2 Miller Crossings.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things about the Coen brothers is that, they kind of have their style, but they also, we were talking about Wes Anderson last month or whatever, and it's like you see a Wes Anderson film and you're like, this is a Wes Anderson film, and it's like very, very similar between movies. The Coen brothers have their style, but they definitely have adapted over time to the material, like I think Tom was saying earlier.
Agreed.
And then if you go with Sam Mendes, I think maybe he kind of had a recognizable style for a while. I don't know how many Sam Mendes movies I've seen, but there was definitely a period of time where he was working, with Thomas Newman.
Hmm.
And I think this all kind of goes into the same category because, Tom, you said the first two notes you recognized that it was Thomas Newman.
Yeah.
And and I think Sam Mendes, his style was kind of the same, especially when he went to American Beauty and stuff like that, because it was kind of a predictable style. And I think maybe he's broken out of that a little bit over time. But the Coen brothers are amazing to me because they have their style, they have their combined styles, as you guys were talking about before, but it's not predictable. It's not the kind of thing where, oh yeah, this is a Coen brothers film necessarily. I mean, you can tell kind of from their sense of humor and their choice of shots and that kind of stuff. But they have been consistently good, but not necessarily predictable in many ways. And so that's one of the things I appreciate about the Coen brothers too.
But
Like I said, Miller's Crossing, dialogue heavy. No Country for Old Men, almost no dialogue. It's like they're not predictable.
I feel that they have more of a recognizable style than we give them credit for, though, because there's a couple
They
of
do. They
there's a
definitely
couple
do,
of
yeah.
movies that came out within the last 5 years that I thought were Coen Brothers movies because of the way the pacing and the feel, and they weren't.
Mm.
But it was a very much an homage of, that feeling, and so
Mhm.
these two movies are incredible.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, they're great movies.
Let's put them to a vote then.
No, let's just leave it like this and walk away.
All right.
No one
Tom.
wins.
I didn't know going in, but I'm gonna go Miller's Crossing.
All right. Gabe.
I think I'm gonna run the table with this. I think I'm gonna go with Road to Perdition.
All right. Kyle.
Miller's Crossing, just for its complete top to bottom, back to front greatness.
All right. And Andrew.
I just want to split the round, so Road to Perdition.
All right. Well, last bit of trivia. Tom Regan takes a significant beating throughout Miller's Crossing. He's punched in the face 12 times, punched in the stomach/kidneys 20 times, kicked in the face twice, thrown down 2 flights of stairs, beaten with a purse, tripped while in full sprint, and nearly strangled to death. They should have called him Timex. Because takes a lick and keeps on ticking. I'll see myself out. Road to Perdition is the first theatrical movie to be based. This trivia is for Kyle. Road to Perdition is the first theatrical movie to be based on a DC property since Steel in 1997.
Oh, and I mean, from strength to strength.
Exactly.
I mean, the quality didn't dip from Steel to Road to Perdition.
A major difference between the graphic novel and the film is that in the book, Michael Sullivan Jr. can and does kill alongside his father during their spree. He grows up to become a priest as a penance for his crimes.
I feel like that's almost hinted at in the movie in a way. You kind of feel that.
And then he becomes Velocipaster. And the rest is history.
Wow. Okay.
Velocipaster.
Why don't you follow Mike right out the door?
Yeah, here.
It's a real movie. I didn't even make it up, unfortunately.
Yeah, Gabriel Byrne definitely the next day, just getting his gut pounded.
Yes.
I thought they were going to kill him.
Agreed.
By the way, does everybody in these old movies know how to remove a bullet and stitch people up? It seems like every farmhouse they go to, it's like, it's fine.
They've got guns. It happens.
Yeah,
it was a necessary skill at the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah, they missed the scene where his wife's like, he's taking 6 bullets out of me. He's so careless around guns.
Wah, 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 wah.
I'll see myself out. Tom, you and Gabe gonna finish this one up.
We got you.
Thanks.
Yeah, because Mike and I are gone already, I guess.
And I'm right behind.
I'm in the driveway. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm
All
getting
right.
my keys.
Let's move on to recommendations for this month, and we will start with Gabe.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with another Conrad Hall movie. It's probably really predictable. But and also Sam Mendes. I'm going to go with American Beauty. Another just amazingly beautiful shot. More music from Thomas Newman, which is great. I think I own the soundtrack. And like I think Andrew was saying earlier that it may be a little bit of a controversial choice nowadays, based on some things that have happened with some of the actors in it. But that doesn't diminish how great of a movie it is. Great performances, great direction, great music, great cinematography. I'm sure most of you have seen it, but I would definitely recommend revisiting American Beauty.
Agreed.
All right. Thank you, Gabe. Kyle.
Yeah, if you want like a short film to play before that, you can watch one like Kevin Spacey's Thanksgiving or Christmas films he's put out on the internet. Just get you warmed up for that movie. Thank you. Where he plays Frank Underwood. Anyways, I'm gonna recommend a movie from 1941. I just watched it the week before I watched these films, and honestly, I don't know if I was thinking about these movies that got me interested in it, but I really love the book and remember loving the movie, and it's very good. It stars Humphrey Bogart and Peter Lorre, two of the most recognizable voices in cinema history. If Orson Welles was in the movie, you'd have like every speech pattern that is copied by a cartoon voice actor from like the critic. But it is 1941's The Maltese Falcon, based on the Dashiell Hammett book. I love it. Black and white film noir. Sam Spade, played by Humphrey Bogart. Crime caper movie where a guy's playing both sides, very similar to Miller's Crossing. And yeah, I really dug it. It held up to me. So 1941, so it's in black and white. Everybody get ready for that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gabe, you won't be able to handle it because there's so much slang. But,
I've seen it. I've seen it more than
It's all
once,
right, yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's short.
I did enjoy it,
It's all right.
and I think I think Bogart's delivery is just great. He was a
He's
master
great, yeah.
at that.
He is. Yeah.
It's under 2
That's my
hours,
recommendation.
so it's the way.
It's right up Gabe's alley.
Yeah, we were lucky. These were these two were like one was just under 2, right, and one was just over. So they were right at my limit.
Oh my God. So I was looking up, that's a great recommendation. If you want to hear a young Mike, Gabe, and Tom talk about the Maltese Falcon, you can listen to episode or fight number 12.
12. Yep. From
And I didn't do
2011.
And I didn't do my research, so if you haven't watched this movie, it's because you didn't pay attention when I recommended it in episode 106 and then again in episode 111.
What, really?
So now it's 184. Yep, I didn't check before I recommended it. So this is the third time. It's the last time you're getting it. So
You know
Well,
what?
it's that good.
Keep
that good.
recommending it. It is a fantastic movie.
It is.
There's no need to apologize for that.
That's funny.
All right, moving on to Andrew.
I'm going to stick with, I guess, the Irish a little bit. My brorecommendation is a Scorsese film. Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, Jim Broadbent, John C. Reilly, Cameron Diaz, all really good. This goes a little past Gabe's really feel for watching a movie, because it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I know that's a little over your bedtime. Sorry, Gabe. but that's Gangs of New York. It tells the story of the 5 points and all the different groups that were there in New York and their fight and their push and pull to become American citizens, and the control that they had on the government and the cops and everything. And it's just a wild and crazy movie, and it's awesome to watch. And Daniel Day-Lewis is Daniel Day-Lewis in it. He's just amazing. So yeah, Gangs of New York.
All right. Solid recommendation.
Thanks, buddy.
Tom, you're up.
All right. So, side note before we move on, looking back, Coen Brothers, this is our third Coen Brothers movie we've done. They won our second episode ever. The second episode, it was True Grit versus True Grit, and Coen Brothers won that one too. So I don't know why I brought that up. I went back and I was looking, and I was like, oh, look, it wasn't a joke.
It doesn't deserve the sad trombone.
That was not just like, I was expecting this guy sucks. But anyway, so you know what? I'm gonna go Tucci. We're gonna recommend a Tucci movie, and it hasn't been recommended before, I guarantee you. And it's Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yep.
And I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. It was. Maggie's not down here, so
I was going to say, did you take Maggie?
No. So look, seriously, we were supposed like 12 months.
Oh,
we had
no.
This date planned. 12 months. She was like, we're gonna go see it. I'm like, yeah, we'll go see it when it comes out. And then I got called off to work in Chicago, so we didn't see it together.
Oh.
Yeah. But I loved it, and she's not down here, so I will tell you, I liked it more than the first one. It was really funny. It moves really fast. The cameos are great. The soundtrack is killer, and Stanley Tucci is just as funny as he was in the first one, maybe even more so. And there's this really great plot in there about AI and the fashion world and journalism and how AI is taking some things over, and how the artists are fighting back. And I thought it was such a fun movie. So check it out.
Ni hao, asshats.
Well, thank you, Tom.
That was my voice. What happened? I
For
didn't say that.
I thought you said that at every sign off.
Yeah, I heard it.
So mine is going to be under 2 hours for Gabe. It's from 1987, and I'm pretty sure this has been recommended, but we have an incomplete recommended list.
Wow.
Directed by Brian De Palma, starring Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, and Robert De Niro, and it's The Untouchables. If you haven't seen The Untouchables, you need to watch it.
Please.
Please watch it. It's so well done, and it's De Palma. Like, you can't go wrong. You rarely can go wrong with a Brian De Palma film. And like I said, probably under episode 50, it was probably recommended at some point, but I can't see those. We don't have them compiled yet.
Another great film score from Ennio Morricone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I love the score for that.
Yeah.
Film.
Oh yeah, Morricone. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Ni hao, asshats.
So
I am not
let's go
saying
ahead
that. That is not me.
Move on.
I will sue your asses.
Let's move on to Poke the Monkey.
To what?
Find out who won.
Not me.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Your winner by decision is Road to Perdition!
Well, like, by one vote, probably.
It's got to be close.
It's got to be like 1.
9-7.
Another 9-7.
Wow.
Another 9-7.
Just
Jesus
2
Christ, we're
points
really
off.
good. We're so good at picking these fucking movies.
Oof.
I'm telling you, man, we keep it interesting.
We're setting a trend, baby. Miller's Crossing's going to be on all the TV shows on TBS, TNT now. People are going to be, oh yeah.
That's our third one this year. and
That's
it's
right.
May.
That has happened.
I know it has.
Oh, Lord.
Forgot to turn that fader down. Please leave us a review on whatever podcasting service you use. It helps us reach new listeners. If you like us, tell your friends. If you hate us, tell your enemies.
Ni hao, asshats.
You can contact us at cinesmack@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where you can join the live recordings. Just search Cinesmack. For June, we travel back to the 80s to defend the frontier while we listen to the Beach Boys. It's Flight of the Navigator versus The Last Starfighter. For Andrew, Gabe, Tom, Kyle, and myself, thanks for listening, and go catch a flick.
Ni hao, asshats.
I
Man,
did
stop
not
trying
get
to make-
permission. I will. My lawyer's calling you in the morning. This is bullshit.
I just want to say something really quick. Since Mike, you played that extra clip from Ron, I just wanted to say that our ring announcer, Ron, his birthday's coming up. So happy birthday to Ron too.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Ni hao, asshats.
That was definitely.
I mean,
so
happy
Tom.
birthday, Ron.
Ron. That's how we got to do it, like an announcer.
Ladies, and gentlemen, men.
Oh no, Andrew swallowed a vibrator again.
Ni hao, asshats.
Wow.
Really? I'm not loving that.
Oh man, I saw Donald Gibb passed away. Did you see that? He played Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds. He played Ray Jackson in Bloodsport. That's where I know him.
Oh.
Jackson? You Jackson? You look like a Jackson.
Okay.